Yes, once again, comrades, revolutionary greetings to all of you. It's a pleasure and an honor today to be with you, and for those who have dedicated themselves to be with us today. I am quite sure there's a lot that's going on, but permit me first of all to say greetings to you all. I'll give you an opportunity as we start this conversation to at least unmute yourself and say greetings to members who are present with us today. So, Sister Myra, please pass your greetings. Sister, greetings. May you have your space to greet the members present.
Greetings everyone. Hope everyone is well.
Thank you, Sister Myra. Sister Tapua, greetings to you. May you have an opportunity to greet members if you can. I know you'll be listening to this part, but even if you're listening, just get to know that we are with you. Anytime, feel free to put your comment in the chat. But hope you're fine, sister. Brother Coco, greetings to you, brother. I have an opportunity to greet members present and maybe say a word today. Brother Coco? Greetings, Brother Coco. Okay, General Nunaki, greetings to you. How is South Africa? May you say hello to members present.
My brother, give thanks, man. Blessed.
Yes.
He's also greeting
Yeah, greetings from your queen. We appreciate as well. Thank you, brother.
yeah, Queen's yeah, South Africa is just chaos, my brother. But yeah, we survive.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for that. Sister Anna, greetings to you, and may you have opportunity to say greetings to members present.
Hi, and greetings to everybody.
Yeah, greetings to you, sister. Thank you for joining us. Sister Chisomo, greetings to you. May you have an opportunity to pass your revolutionary greetings in this Africa Liberation Day to members present. Sister Chisomo. Hello, Sister Chisomo. Okay. Let's get to Sister Portia. Sister Portia, greetings to you. May you have an opportunity to say your hello to members present today.
Yes, greetings everyone, excellencies, elders, human rights defenders, all happy to be here. And greetings.
Thank you, sister. Greetings to you. Sister Shaza, greetings to you. Please have an opportunity to pass your greetings.
Yeah, revolutionary greetings, one and all.
Yes, thank you, sister. Let's get to, of course, Sister Sawindok. Greetings to you. May you pass your greetings to members present. Sawindok.
Greetings to all of you, Africans, greetings.
Greetings, comrade. Thank you very much. Brother Barry, are you able to pass your greetings, Brother Barry, Elder? Elder Barry, if you are able, please let me know so that you can pass your greetings as well. Okay. Let's get to OS. Brother Coco, are you able to pass your greetings or are you still in a fixed place? If you're not able to speak, then we'll just pass. So,
greetings, comrades, greetings, revolutionary.
yeah, greetings, Brother Coco. So, Sister Chisomo, once again, greetings to you. Sister Chisomo.
Greetings.
Yeah, thank you very much, sister. Comrades, revolutionary greetings here from Kenya. We have been engaged a bit on Africa Liberation Day preparatory meetings. Yesterday, I attended one of the discussions in one of the university. In fact, it was, to my knowledge, that I learned that there's a university that was started by African Union as an initiative across the continent called the Pan-African University. So either the many universities have either a chapter or something like a Pan-African University. So yesterday I attended the conference on the Pan-African debate on one of the university called Jomo Kenyatta University, and the students were engaged in a discussion on Pan-Africanism. So it was a very interesting wrap-up. They were asked whether Pan-Africanism is still relevant today. They were discussing so many other things about Pan-Africanism, and I felt it's the right way to go. And also we connected with the Pan-African University, and I think one day we'll invite them to share with us what they're doing. So that was a good day for me on the Pan-African Liberation, when we discuss Africa Liberation Day. And today, of course, I made also the opportunity to be in the city of Nairobi and found out that there's also many people who are doing some great things. There was a meeting in the Parliament's bidding today about the Pan-Africanism and Africa Liberation Day. I came across a library called the Liberation Library, but unfortunately they didn't have books by Nkrumah, Steve Biko, and so many other books. But of course, I came across that library somewhere in the city. So there's a lot that's going on. And from my side, permit me to say that I really appreciate what you're doing. And thank you very much for joining us today. And now, going straight to what our discussion today is, of course, all of us are aware that we are today discussing Africa Liberation Day. We will be having various speakers who will be joining us. Some of the speakers include Sister Mayra, who is already with us. We have Sister Portia, who is also with us here. And we also have Brother Kwame will be presenting something to us. And finally, we'll also be having Professor Jahalal, who will also be joining us for the conversation. Just to bring you up to speed, actually the Africa Liberation Day, many of us know, and many of us have been discussing this, came out from around 1963, May 25th. That's when, of course, the Africa heads of state, there were 32 by then, actually met in Addis Ababa, and they established what we call the Organization of Africa Union. So from there, then we realized that the AU mission, you know what was the OAU mission, which was purely to promote unity, end colonialism, and secure economic and political sovereignty of African nation. The question is whether we still have actually attained this. But there's also a conversation in the Pan-African space that has been confusion a bit, that brought some confusion on when do we have Africa Day. I know some people are using this day to celebrate Africa Day, but it's very clear that one of the movement called, actually the many movement decided to change and insist that we cannot celebrate the Africa Day without us actually celebrating the Africa liberation. Because the liberation of Africa is a reminder to us, and some will be asking, is it a celebration or is it a discussion? But as I've said that we are in a space where some think we should be celebrating Africa Day, some think and some believe that no, we should actually be reminding ourselves of the liberation of Africa. And therefore, we should use this day to actually remind ourselves the struggle for Africa liberation, what we have achieved, and what we need to do. So that has been the conversation all along. And of course, the day will be tomorrow, but we are doing it today during our Saturday Africa Unification Quorum. And just to remind some of us is that this day has been transformed over a period of basis. It's been a day that has been celebrated all over. Of course, we know very well that the Liberation Day has galvanized struggle in many countries like Angola, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, South Africa. And we know very well that organizations like, of course, PAC of Azania and other movements have actually been holding international solidarity to remember the African Liberation Day. Alongside Black Panther movement or Black Panther Party, all African revolutionary parties, and to our current progressive Pan-Africans. So this is why we are here. And once again, as I've said, thank you very much, and let's start our conversation today. Now, we will go straight to our first speaker. We will be opening up the space for other members to join in and share their input, and that will take place later once we are done in this first quarter of our conversation. So our first speaker today, based on the members present with us here, we will start with directly to Sister Mayra. Now, the reason why I want to start with Sister Mayra is because part of the few conversation we'll be having and discussion point we'll be having include the first point will be on what we call the colonial lie we call nations. So, of course, Professor or Brother Kwame, any of them who will join first, will be able to share with us their thinking in regards to this aspect of nations and nationalities. We have discussed this before, but we'll be discussing it again on a context of Africa liberation. The second conversation we'll be having will be on beyond coups and ballots. What's the way forward? Because Africa in the space of coups and the ballot and the elections and everything else was the most practical way forward for us. And why we bring Sister Mayra to start with us this conversation is about women. So we'll be looking at patriarchy as an imperialism weapon. Because our theme of this conversation is that there is no true liberation without the liberation of women. So we want to purely hear the voice of the women. And the last sister, again, Sister Portia, will be ending this conversation with us to the topic called the unfinished revolution. The unfinished revolution. It started, it's still going on. So we'll be hearing from two sisters and two brothers today. And without much ado, Sister Myra, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Yes.
You are free to share your screen if you have a presentation. I've made you a co-host.
Okay.
Sister, okay. Just a brief introduction about Sister Myra. Of course, she doesn't like all those long introduction or whatever. But Sister Myra is one of our progressive comrades. She's part of our coordinators, of course, for Consciousism. We do a lot with that together. And she's a member of our class. I know many people have been joining us know more about her. But yes, Sister Myra, you are free to also say more about you if you wish to say more. Thank you very much, Sister. You have your 20 minutes to start our conversation. And feel free to ask anything that you need within the 20 minutes. But yes, your time starts now. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much, Brother Pigeon. I hope everyone can see my screen.
Yes, your screen is clear.
Thank you very much. Okay. So I'm not going to say any more than what my brother Pigeon has shared. My name is Myra. Myra is my colonial name. My African name, which you see on the post, is Nanule Chinalwa. I'm from the neo-colonial state of Uganda, and I currently live in the UK. I live and work here for now. I am also a Pan-Africanist, which is why I am with the Consciousism Study Group. Yeah, and I'm also one of the coordinators. So without further ado, I will start my presentation. Okay, so I'm going to present on patriarchy as imperialism's weapon. And the title is How the Oppression of Women from Forced Labor to Political Exclusion Props Up the Entire Neocolonial Order. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to try and give a picture of the life of African women in pre-colonial Africa. And I'm going to sample from a paper from the University of South Africa titled Women in Pre-Colonial Africa, Southern Africa. And it's by two students whose names I won't murder, but they are students in the Department of Political Sciences. And then after that, I'm going to talk about how life changes in African society under slavery and capitalism and neocolonialism. And then I'll end with a couple of slides on women's liberation. So, in pre-colonial Africa, women played roles, different roles in society. Their voices were heard and their contributions were valued. In marriage, in families, they nurtured families together with their husbands, and they also made family decisions. So this paper samples pre-colonial life from the Zulu people and different peoples in Southern Africa. And Lobola, which I know is a tradition in among the Zulu people. Then it was a symbol of honor and gratitude. It was a symbol of value on the woman. When you contrast that now, I know there's been a lot of debates on what it means. I feel it's been devalued. It's now just a price. It objectifies women, but initially in our pre-colonial societies, it was a symbol of honor. It was saying that this woman has value. Also in Southern Africa, in Limpopo, barren women too had a role. So they were able to inherit property, for example, cattle. They also received a share from the bride wealth when the girls in the family got married. So they were like the men in terms of property ownership and accumulation of wealth and influence in society. And then as the woman got older in the Zulu kingdom, postmenopausal women also played very important roles, powerful roles, because then they were no longer regarded as unclean. So I'm quoting from this paper, and they were seen as a bridge between the female and male domains. So they could move around. I'm guessing they could move around more freely, you know, and still participate and do the roles that men were doing. So then we move on to the active, to the production. And here, the authors showed that the roles of men and women were really fluid. There were not set rules all the time, right? So even though at times division of labor was similar to what we see now in the patriarchal system, where women, the woman cooks, the woman fetches water, the man doesn't do these things. In the Zulu kingdom, the rules, the duties really overlapped. For example, we saw men were the ones doing the cooking within the king's palace, you know, and there was a cooperation of duties between the men and women. So in the royal house, the men were doing the cooking, and there wasn't that rigid delineation of labor roles as they are now. I know for I think in many African households now, it is the woman's role to cook. But where do we get that from? Because it seems like in a time before, it was more fluid than it is now. So women also played, they participated in different activities within society. They built houses, they participated in farming, they were fetching water, they were collecting firewood, and they shared these roles with the men. They worked together in the fields with the men. So again, remember, I'm sampling from this paper. So this was a life in Southern Africa, right? They worked together with the men, and then in places like what they call Botswana now, wives were entitled to have their own land, and they could own their own cattle, and the husbands had no control over that, right? And in some societies or in some communities, women controlled the agricultural production, and this also brought them honor and respectability, and they had their own wealth. Then we move on to the realm of religion or spirituality, because religion was brought on us. Sorry about that error. So again, in spirituality, the women played very key roles. We'll have examples of queens in Limpopo. This queen, whose name I want Mada, she was said to have powers to make rain. And it said in that paper that all the kings of the land came to see her and pay her supplication because they believed in her power. But what I'm trying to put across is that that was a woman who was very powerful and very influential in the land, and she was a queen. And women also were prophetesses. For example, there's a prophetess. Again, I'm so sorry, I won't murder that name, but she was a prophet in among the Xhosa people, and she's said to have predicted the hardships that would come with colonialism. And we also had women fighters who were symbols of resistance, colonial resistance in Zimbabwe, for example. And then women were also priestesses within the clans, the Venda clan, for example. And they officiated over religious and spiritual events. So again, more examples of the roles of women. The San women could become shamans, which are diviners, just like their male counterparts. So even in hierarchical societies, the women had a voice. So for example, in the Khoikhoi community, the women could publicly admonish the chiefs, you know, so the women's voices were heard and they were respected. So we move on to the political arena, where again, we see women had roles way before the advent of colonists. African women held offices of authority in the public sphere, which were involved in decision-making and controlling of resources. So the paper, they gave examples of, again, to talk about Southern Africa. So they had positions of authority, just like their male counterparts. In the Zulu Kingdom, there were older royal women who were involved with keeping or they had ranks within the king's private residence, and this was in the military. So these were military women. Women played important roles in mediating disputes or solving other people's problems. So they're respected, they were looked up to, you know. People came to them and to help them with their day-to-day problems. The Queen Mother was also very, 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 very important in political institutions. And she also had political authority that paralleled that of the king. So that's the political sphere. So we can see that women were not powerless or voiceless. They had control of their bodies and circumstances. They were allowed to have wealth. They were allowed to participate politically, even in the military, making decisions. And they said that this is consistent with findings about pre-colonial women elsewhere. Remember, this paper is specifically about South Africa. Women and men's roles were often complementary. Women performed male-type duties with great ease. They also accompanied their male counterparts on military expeditions, for example. So this is just a summary to say that there was interaction and complementarity between the genders in the roles that they played throughout society. So women had made very great, they made contributions to the army, politics, religion, leadership, and they were not marginalized, that they cooperated with their male brothers for the betterment of their societies. And they enjoyed several rights in the pre-colonial era that saw them occupy different domains of authority in these societies. So they were not only trapped in the domestic sphere, but they were free to explore other domains that were important to society, such as politics and religious or spiritual leadership. So then as time moves on, obviously, change happens. And this change brings changes to African society. So as we know, those that come for the Consensusism classes on Thursday, that a society is organized around the economic organization, can I say, the economic structure of that society. But however way it's organized, it's that organization is to reinforce the harmony and the development and solidarity of that society. In other words, whatever holds a society together should be based on the values of the people within that society. So in Africa, especially, customs which regulated the relationships between the social categories conformed during that period of subsistence economy to the laws and demands of evolution, the mode of community production, right? But then that's not to say that there weren't cracks already, you know, within, because we're all human, So Sankara and Toure, they state that the human being is prone to exploitation, you know, for enrichment. So we know that there were conquests and there were those certain, can I say, kingdoms that were taking slaves, although you can't compare that to the systematic and exploitative slavery of the West, but you know what I mean, right? So there was still that urge which is in humankind to get profit and get rich. So when the colonial systems came in, they exploited those cracks, you know, they exploited those cracks and completely just tore the societies asunder and just colonial system of spoliation, domination, arbitrary practices, oppressions, exploitation further disintegrated society, a situation that affected women more than any other individual in society. So that's a quote from a book by Sankara, Thomas Sankara, called Women's Liberation and African Freedom Struggle. So we saw slavery, and with slavery, we got the concept of private property, and we were the property, our ancestors were the property. It changed the mode of production. Remember, societies are organized around that mode of production. So we had communal subsistence economies, right? But then when slavery came in, everything was profit. The people were property. It changed the structure of family, where the patriarchal family became the main form of family, and it was founded on the sole property and personal property of the father. So the man is the most important. But remember, before, the women were also very important in the family, right? So the women were the slave master's loot, and the slave master profited from her labor power and her objectification at his whim. So we're all older than 18, and I think I didn't want to be too explicit, but you know what I mean by objectification at his whim. And then we saw colonialism, which the sole motivation of colonialism was to steal all of Africa's wealth and exploit her labor with the sole aim of enriching the economic monopolies of the colonizing nations. So then the African society is even reorganized to meet the colonialist economic needs. So our society is no longer organized by our needs and our values and our cultures. No, they're organized to meet the colonialists' economic needs. And we have the working class, we have the peasants, but we're all exploited. All our ancestors were exploited for their labor and production at the lowest price. And in all that chaos, the woman is occupying the least position, you know. The woman is refused a chance for intellectual or professional development. The woman is cut off from politics. The right to vote is denied her. Of course, we also see economic discrimination. And this is a quote from Sankara's book again, which says, her status overturned by private property, banished from her very self, relegated to the role of child raiser and servant. She's written out of history by philosophy, and the most entrenched religions stripped of all worth by mythology. Woman shared the lot of a slave, who in slave society was nothing more than a beast of burden with a human face. So whereas women had important positions to play in spirituality and politics, and a good example is the Catholic Church, which doesn't allow women to be priests. So those religions were imposed on us, and so we had to follow suit. And then also what this paper tries to bring forward is that we have to be careful about how we read our own history, because they want us to believe that the woman was subjugated in pre-colonial Africa, you know. But that's not true. We have to be careful about when you're reading any text. You have to look for proper African history that kind of is balanced, you know. Because when you read it from Western eyes, they'll say that yes, the woman has always been subjugated and she had it rough in the pre-colonial times, where we've seen it's not entirely true. Life wasn't perfect, but that's not entirely true. So then this subjugation continues in the capitalist system, which is what we need.
Sister Mara,
Yes,
you have 3 or 4 more minutes.
thank you. Which continues up to now. We see women's discrimination in salary, for example. We see all these feminist movements in Africa, but usually they just supplanted from the West, and the woman still suffers there's no medication in hospitals. The girl child suffers with simple sanitary product needs, access to education. So it's the problem still persists basically under capitalism. So then I come to the last bit, which is women's liberation. So in conservatism, we believe that true freedom should be for everyone. It shouldn't be for one half of the population while the other half is still in subjugation. So therefore, we should be, if we are fighting neocolonialism, then we should take into consideration that neocolonialism is a system that has put women down. So we should also fight for it, fight against it with that in our mind. And Sankara also encourages women to participate in this liberation and to ask or to demand for the liberation that they need. But he cautions about women's emancipation. He says it shouldn't mean the mechanical equality between men and women, you know, wearing men's shoes and wearing men's trousers and drinking and smoking, like, you know, no. He's saying emancipation is hearing women's voices, is accepting their intellectual contributions, women being a part of organization of society, of making decisions and implementing them. So that should be very clear as African liberators, what we mean by women's liberation. And then I end by asking the question is that if we are fighting, if we are calling ourselves African liberators, then what's the point of trying to eliminate a system of neocolonialism which exploits women while maintaining the exploitation of women who make up more than half of our society? And I say, women hold the other half of the sky up. That is it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sister. May you either give sister a lot of appreciation. You can do it via reaction, or you can just unmute yourself and say thank you to my sister. Sister, you've done a lot, and thank you for that. Actually, you put it to the context of our quote that I've shared, that Sankara asked, that the revolution and women liberation go together.
Yes.
And he says that we do not talk of women emancipation as an act of charity. It's not charity. Or out of a compassion for them. We are not sympathizing when we talk about women. It is a basic necessity for the revolution to triumph. Because women hold up the other half of the sky. They're the mother of men you think that will have to liberate the continent. So if you don't liberate them, who will give birth to those liberators? They must be emancipated. They must be liberated in order to help bring up more conscious citizens who will liberate the continent. So thank you very much, Sister Myra. And please let's give some appreciation to Sister Myra's presentation. We will be getting space for questions and answers later, but you can put questions and answers in the chat so that we can respond to them and have the conversation going in the chat as well. But we'll come back to question and answers later. We will be moving to Sister Portia, but before I go to Sister Portia, permit me just to appreciate our women with just a 1 or 2 minute song that was sung about Mama Africa. We really uphold you, we really respect you, we really appreciate you. So as I will be playing this song for only 2 to 3 minutes, Sister Portia, get ready so that we will move to you straight after this. And Sister Portia, get ready for the presentation. That will be about Anxious Revolution.
Mama
Yes, Mama Africa. We'll just cut it short there as we continue the conversation. We appreciate you all, Mama of Africa, wherever you are. Feel most appreciated and feel part of this conversation. So we really want you to be part of this. And I appreciate that for the last few months or years we've been here, women have come very strongly to participate in the conversation that shaped the continent. So indeed, women are here. Let's give them space. Let's give them chance so that together we can liberate the continent. We cannot do it without them. Let's give them the space to help us the liberation of Africa. So let's go straight to Sister Portia. Sister Portia, Sister Portia actually is she doesn't want to be introduced that much. So I'll just allow Sister Portia to introduce herself. But I want to touch on what Sister Portia is interested to talk about today. She'll be speaking about the unfinished revolution. The revolution has a long history. Started so many years ago. We remember the revolt of the slaves or the enslaved persons. We remember the Haitian revolutions, the fight for colonialism, the new revolution that is going on in the continent called the Sahel and the rest. And where is that in line with the liberation of Africa? So welcome, Sister Portia, and I'll request you to kindly take your few minutes to introduce yourself so that at least you can do it as you wish to do it. But thank you very much. Sister Portia is known as a very strong human rights defender, and she has done a lot in regards to the human rights activism and the rest. But I don't want to spoil this. Sister Portia, please come in. You have rights to share anything else, but I'll also be able to share anything you need from my side.
Thank you so much, King Brother Pigeon, and just many greetings, everyone. I am going to have on my video just for a concise time because I have limited internet connectivity here in Dodoma, Tanzania. The internet works fine. I just have limited internet connectivity. I think someone, if you can kindly mute, please. Okay, thank you. And King Brother Pigeon, may you kindly pull up the PDF document on page 204, the letter from Monroe. And while you're doing that, I just want to, and I'm going to turn off my screen now, I just want to echo how King Brother Pigeon had everyone greet each other. I think that's so important. So encore greetings to King Brother Pigeon. Many thanks to CSG for this occasion to converse. Greetings again to Sister Ida, Myra, Amma, Atekar, Grace, and I'm all of saying, I should have started with Dada before you. And then also the Kakas, the brothers in the room, General. And then I see Ifo, Ja, Coco, Marlene, Nkrumah, Sam, Shaza, Sir WHK, Tapua, Teresa, and Xperia X73, Z3. Thank you so much for everything. All right, thank you, King Brother Pigeon, for pulling that up. This is 203. May you go to 204? It's the next page. Thank you. Okay, and you're going to go to the second paragraph. I know this looks like the first paragraph, but it's a run-on. So, oh yes is the first paragraph, and then the second paragraph starts the Black women. Can everyone see that okay? If you can't, please just turn on your mic and say so. And
Yeah.
King Brother Pigeon, please, you may
It's okay.
increase it a bit more. Thank you.
It's okay, sister.
All right, so what I want to say before we start our discussion is I want to give a supposed definition of liberation by Black women of Monroe. And I'm going to read the first sentence only. The Black women of Monroe, fed up with this type of treatment, vowed that, quote, never again would a Black woman sit and be belittled before a crowd under the pretense of trying the assailant, end quote. King Brother Pigeon, may you now pull up the Word document that has the 2 discussion points. When Queen Sister Myra was speaking earlier, there was a segment that she was talking about the abuse that Akibalanese women, thank you, King Brother Pigeon, that Akibalanese women faced on many times. And what also I say in these conversations, it is strongly alleged that the physical abuse by the oppressors to Akibalanese enslaved Black women, it was also to girls. And I would dare say even men and boys. So to the discussion, King Brother says, I am to talk about the unfinished revolution. So I wanted this segment to be interactive, and I'm mindful that there'll be questions later. I got, thankfully, King Brothers, okay to have this discussion segment. So I would like, and I learned this from the CSG book class that I am in, they have a person read a section, a paragraph before there's discussion. And I think this is such a wonderful way to engage in learning. So is there anyone who would like to virtually raise their hand, and I can recognize you to read only the first paragraph, discussion point A of B? Do I have a volunteer, please? Or may someone volunteer, please? And you can just virtually raise your hand. Oh,
Yes,
I
Sister
see
Ida.
Sister Ida. Thank you, Sister Ida. Okay, Sister Ida, may you read that first paragraph? Thank you.
With regards to either of these points, kindly share your thoughts about liberation being halted almost 30 years ago in the Niger Delta, or in 2025 in the Niger Delta. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Ida. Will you also read where it starts from to date, Sister Ida, for me? That's not highlighted in the green. Thank you.
I'm not sure that I see to date. Is it up or down?
It's up, Sister Ida. It says discussion point A of B.
Oh, okay. To date, it is almost 30 years after the exclusion of the Ongoni Nine. Oh, execution of the Ongoni Nine. A group of 9 activists from the Ongoni region of Nigeria who documented, even at the cost of their lives, the anti-environmental operating practices of the Royal Dutch Shell Oil Corporation in Nigeria. Niger Delta 2. The primary issues, trial of Nigerian law for Shell versus on-gate Billy communities, began at the High Court on the 13th February 2025 and finished on 7th March 2025. Court ruling is not announced to date. With regards to either of these points, kindly share your thoughts about liberation being halted almost 30 years ago in the Niger Delta, or in 2025 in the Niger Delta. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Queen Sister Ida. Thank you very much. Okay, so in this first discussion, which will take us about 5 minutes, and I'll ask please for 2 people to give their thoughts, because we're about 20 people, and I'm mindful of the time limit of 20 minutes for this discourse. So almost 30 years ago, so in November this year, it will be the commemoration of the Ogoni Nine, where, pardon me, of Ken Saro-Wiwa's death date, and he was also part of the Ogoni Nine. So in that regard, they did something quite, if we go into pre-colonial times or before the 15th century, we know that Akibalanese always defended their territory. So what the Ogoni Nine were doing was defending their lands. So this is not something that wasn't in us to do. And in that regard, in defending their land, they called out or called to account Shell and their lives. They lost their lives for doing that. Now, if we come back into 2025, there is a court case in the same area because Mr. Ken Saro-Wiwa and the Ogoni Nine, they were all from the Nigeria's Niger Delta region. So now the Ogali and the Ogali and the Bille communities, because there was a decision by the High Court last year that they could now try Shell in UK courts, had that court case in the UK this year. Now the court ruling, I Googled it yesterday, it has not been announced to date. So with those two different points, I'm asking kindly from one or two people in the audience to share your thoughts about liberation being halted almost 30 years ago in the Niger Delta or in 2025 in the Niger Delta, just based on what you are reading in front of you. And we are all learning here. So even if you have not heard about the Nigeria's Niger Delta region, that's okay. And this is why I gave you the background information above. And you can raise your virtual hand, one or two people. Thank you.
Brother Ifo, hand is up. Brother Ifo.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Brother Ifo.
Okay. I am Ifo. I am Isoko from the Niger Delta region of the place they call Nigeria. So this is very intimate for me because I was just back home a few months ago. The situation is very dire. We are living under active colonial occupation by the colonial state of Nigeria. The land is still being polluted. We are still experiencing no benefits from the oil resources. So how do we talk about independence, so-called independence. We're still in a situation of active occupation. So I think it is very timely that we discuss what happened to the Ogoni Nine, because it reflects what is happening to us collectively and what they're trying to do in Mali and Niger. And I will leave it at that.
Thank you, King Brother Ifo. Thank you so much. Thank you for your words. Do we have another person who would like to volunteer and share your thoughts? I see King Brother Joseph. You have the speaking floor.
Yes, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to people. I am reluctant to speak about that, although I've been part of the struggle for Dr. Ken Saro-Wiwa for many years as part of an organization known as Friends of the Earth International, who helped to highlight the cause of the Ogoni people. My disappointment is that our people have not seen this sufficiently as a cause that we should champion. And by and large, with many people from the north that has championed the cause. Hence, you have there was a case in Holland, and the sister said there was also something in England recently. What have happened? What happened in the Niger Delta, which resulted in the killing of Dr. Kenzo Riva and the others, was a collusion between the Nigerian government, the US government, I mean, through its company Shell, to silence the voice of resistance. Having experienced devastation in not Nigeria, in another country near to me, Ecuador, the Amazon region, which I saw after 20 years, you know, just a few months ago, the damage where people are unable to do any farming, to do the pollution, the cancer, everything is devastated. And all effort by the people of the Amazon have been frustrated. And the US government is heavily involved in that. Trump and even Trump, well, especially the people to Trump and them now, which some of our people support, which gets me angry, to be honest. So it's something, unless we, in fact, just last night I was in a conversation, some people on this platform here now was in it, and the issue of sustainability, the issue of the climate problem, which our people have failed to internalize. I mean, we are facing serious problem because of the business of the petrol people. In addition, one thing that needs to be noted about Nigeria is that, in spite it's one of the leading producer of, or exporters, but is an exporter of crude, they don't produce any local crude. I mean, Dangote is trying to do something now, but they import all the oil, all the fuel that's needed. So Shell and others export the crude, and then Nigeria import finished product, which is ridiculous. And these are things I think our people need to become more aware of. So when we're having conversation, the conversation would be much more elevated, which sometimes I'm not quite excited about. So I thought, let me just stop here. But it's serious business. People have to become more involved. And to say that the thing has been halted, I mean, it's probably been slowed down. But the struggle is still there. There are different quarters. I have not spared any effort to mention Dr. Kenzo Riva. It's where he's very dear to my heart. I remember when he was killed. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much, King Brother Joseph. What I want to do before we go to the discussion point B of B, King Brother Pigeon, how much time do we still have?
We have the next 10 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, King Brother Pigeon. Before I go to the discussion point of B of B on your screen, I want to just pull out some points that our King Brother Joseph said, and then please pardon me one moment. Our King Brother Ifo said, polluted lands, state of terror. Let me turn on my screen. You'll see my top of my head, I'm reading from downward. Active occupation, damage, cancer, and I'm paraphrasing here, can no longer farm. And then also I'm hearing disappointment and exhaustion. And then there was a point that King Brother Ifo said. He said that what is happening in Nigeria's Niger Delta region affects us all. Mali, Niger, I believe he mentioned, were the two African countries he mentioned. And then King Brother Joseph, he said the same thing in a different way. He said Over in Ecuador, in the Amazon, there's the frustration. So I'll stop there. The purpose of this discussion and the interaction with each of the audience members and those of you who are actively listening is just what it says in the green. With regard to either of these points, kindly share your thoughts about liberation being halted almost 30 years ago in the Niger Delta or in 2025 in the Niger Delta. Let's move now to the discussion point B of B. And I don't know if any of you have pens near you or can use your phone. It's up to you. I have my pen because I'll be jotting down your answers, your responses. So may we have a volunteer, please, to read, pardon the background noise. May I have a volunteer to read discussion point B of B, starting with the word noted. And if you can just virtually raise your hand, this would support me so. May someone read, please?
Okay, I can read, sister.
Okay, good. I was trying as well. Good. Thank you.
Thank you, King Brother Pigeon.
Now it said that noted the many external dialogues or debates about what is necessary for a successful liberation. Please share the name of a revolutionary of Al-Gabonese origin or heritage who, in your opinion, was or is very near to a complete liberation.
Thank you so much, King Brother Pigeon. And I've just now turned on my video. I didn't have the I had the camera on, but you couldn't see me. So here, I just saw before this call in some WhatsApp groups, there was a debate about, is there a roadmap for, and when I say Akibalanese, some people say African, that's okay. And I also include people of African descent in Akibalanese. This is why you saw origin heritage. So in this WhatsApp group, they were debating on if there was a roadmap to show Akibalanese the next steps for our liberation. And I'm paraphrasing quite largely here. What I'm trying to say is that we have been discussing, if you remember the King Brother Joseph, he said he has become frustrated with this. And even I was at the fourth session of the United Nations Permanent Forum on People of African Descent. And in my statement to the PFPAD, it was very frustrated. So we know that those type of dialogues and debates, they are ongoing. That is not the focus of this discussion point. It is rather for you, please, to mention a name of a revolutionary of a Akibalanese origin or heritage. Earlier, I had put woman, yet I decided not to specify on purpose because it would be like I'm dictating to who you think is a revolutionary. So what I'm just asking, the one where I stand ground on, is of a Akibalanese origin heritage. In your opinion, if you can give that name, and you don't need to say why, I just would like to have the name. And there's a reason why I'm asking for that. So what I'll do now is I'll call each of your names, and if you don't have anyone that you don't think has got to a complete liberation, excuse me, I said revolution, complete liberation, then that's okay too. But I want to give each person an opportunity to respond. So now I'm going to turn off my camera so that I can scroll and call your names. All right, so we'll start with our king brother, pardon me, we'll start in the reverse. So Queen Sister Teresa, is there any revolutionary of Akibalanese origin or heritage that you think almost got close to liberation?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can, thank you.
Oh, right, with baby, so pretty quick. No, I don't think so. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Queen Sister Tapua, I'm asking the same question.
I don't think she's able to speak. She have some issues so far.
No worries. And Sir WHK, is there anyone that you think of African descent or origin who has gotten close to near liberation? And note that I said earlier revolution, pardon that era. Sir WHK. Okay, we'll come back to you, please. Shaza.
Yeah, greetings. I would say Assata Shakur.
Thank you. King Brother Sam, is there anyone of Akibalanese origin, heritage, African or Aphrodite descendant that you think has gotten near, very close to near liberation?
I'm conflicted between Ahmed Sékou Touré of Guinea and Amilcar Cabral of Guinea-Bissau.
Thank you very much. Would you please, so that I spell the names correctly, will you please put that in the chat for me, please? I will need those names in a bit. Thank you.
I'll do so.
Both names. Thank you. Okay, going right along. King, let me say Comrade Nkrumah. Is there anyone of African or people of African descent that you think has gotten near to liberation?
Okay. Mengali Sossobu.
Thank you. May you please place that in the chat for me? Just like our King Brother Nkrumah. Will you do that for me, please? Thank you. Queen Sister Marlene, I think now everyone has heard the question, so I'm now coming to you to respond. Queen Sister?
Who could I say? I would say Malcolm X was trying.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Queen Sister. Thank you very much. Okay, I don't think I'm skipping anyone. The next person I have is Maxson. Maxson, like Jackson. And if I'm incorrect, let me know. All right.
Exactly. It's Max.
Okay.
Actually,
All right.
yes.
Your response, please.
I have to go with the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, the one who gave us the first flag of Africa.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Next up, we have King Brother Joseph.
Yeah, for me, I would say Walter Rodney, and I would say as a living person, there are others, but I would say also Julius Malema.
Will you put Mr. Julius's name in the chat for me, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, next up, and we're almost finished, y'all, is Ja Musa.
Do you hear me?
Yes, please.
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
okay. I can say, Haile Selassie, you know, His Imperial Majesty. And I can say Kwame Nkrumah, you know. I can say them too, they did it far, you know, with the, and I can say Jomo Kenyatta. Because what they done, without them, we wouldn't have something like we have today, right now.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, our King Brother Ifo, kindly, your response.
Sister Portia,
Yes.
we are 2 minutes late, but I'll give you next 3 minutes so that you end at 20.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. King Brother Ifo, I'm going to have to close with you. May I have your response?
Okay. Please put it in the chat.
Yes, I'm able to speak now. I would say Fumilayo Kuti. She was responsible for kicking out the British out of the territory they call Nigeria.
Great. Will you please put that in the chat, please?
I already did.
Oh, excellent. Okay, I'm going to turn my camera on for this part. King Brother Coco, look at me. King Brother Pigeon, you can take off the Word document, please. And the person that I will state is May Mallory. That is the PDF document we began with. Now, I was hoping for this part of it to have all of you speak, so pardon that we didn't, and thank you for putting the names in the chat. What I want to do, even though we won't have time for all of us to do it, I would like to, if there are no objections to all of the names that have been said, I would like to speak their names. Are there any objections? And you can say, just turn on your mic if you have any objections to
I don't have any
of the
objections, so
I
long as
don't
you
have any objections, no.
so long as you mention the one I've also put in the chat. Thank you.
All right. Okay, and please, my comrades, if I miss any, you let me know quickly, please. All right, here we are. Let me say these names. May Mallory, Assata Shakur, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, Walter Rodney, Haile Selassie, Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta. Now I'm going to the chat. Ahmed Sekou Toure, Amilcar Cabral, Magaliso Robert Sobokwe, Samora Machel, Arikana Chihombori Kwa, Julius Malema, France Fanon, Angela Davis. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. King Brother Pigeon, over to you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Sister Portia, for this. May you actually, we have names also been added, Traore, Patrice Lumumba, or Patrick Lumumba. Thank you very much, and may you actually appreciate Sister for her presentation, either by reaction, so that we can appreciate what she has done. The context of this was actually to bring to us the unfinished revolution. So it's very clear that we recognize people who gave their efforts before, but we also recognize that people are giving their efforts now, like Malem and the rest, which confirm that the revolution is not finished yet, and therefore we must keep moving. I propose to the congregation here that I think it's high time we come up with what we call the Pan-African Award. That every year, if that is possible, we can be recognizing men and women who do a lot in the Pan-African space, the same way we either recognize scholars or anything like that. I propose at this meeting, find it right that we come up with what we call the Pan-African Award, so that every year, every time we celebrate men and women who give their effort towards Pan-Africanism as a way to recognize their struggle towards this revolution, which is unfinished. Thank you very much. I will be going straight to Brother Kwame, but before Brother Kwame come in, permit me to play the African Union Anthem in English to remind us who we are and the essence of that message towards our liberation. After that, we'll go to Brother Kwame. Professor Jalal was supposed to join us, but he's not with us and he hasn't confirmed his presence. So Brother Kwame will be ending this conversation for us, and we'll have some few minutes for discussion and input for members who are joining us today. So Brother Kwame, please get ready for this as I play the African Union Anthem. So let's listen to this African Union Anthem. Every time we listen to it, I request members that let's pay attention to the words put in this anthem. And let's have those words in our heart. Let's sing it from our heart. And let's remind ourselves that's more of not even a song, but it's what we tell ourselves towards our struggle. Thank you very much. Let me play it.
Let us all unite and celebrate together the victories won for our liberation. Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together to defend our liberty and unity. All sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. Let us all unite and sing together to uphold the bonds that frame our destiny. Let us dedicate ourselves to fight together for lasting peace and justice on earth. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life. Let us all unite and join together to give the best we have to Africa, the cradle of mankind, the fount of culture, our pride and hope and break of dawn. Oh, sons and daughters of Africa, flesh of the sun and flesh of the sky, let us make Africa the tree of life.
Let's make Africa the tree of life. Welcome, Brother Kwame. Brother Kwame?
Yes, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you, Brother Kwame.
Yeah. Can I start? Can I start?
Yes, go ahead, Brother Kwame. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, brothers and sisters, wherever you are. Before I I start, can I thank those who have gone before me, the giants, the two giants who have just spoken, Sister Myra and Sister Portia. I'd like to thank them for their words, Sister Myra for her lecture style, and Sister Portia for her tutorial style. It's very, very educative. We thank you. We salute you. We scouted for speakers, and you came forward to speak on the topic that the liberation of the nation is not complete without the liberation of women. And so thank you. I have myself been this weekend at an educational conference. As you know, there are a lot of Black educators in the UK, and the National Education Union, of which I am a part. You can see I'm wearing the lanyard. I'm a member of what they call the Black Organizing Forum of the Union, and we organize a conference for Black educators. So I've been on the road since Friday, and I'm very, very pleased to be here. And what we're dealing with is the same thing we are dealing with today, which is liberation. And as you know, the education career, the education field is dominated by women. Women are the teachers. Women are mostly teachers. If you go to primary schools, mostly it is our mothers, our sisters, our aunties who are the primary school teachers. You come to secondary, it's the same. Men are not a lot in education, but they are overrepresented in the leadership roles. And in Caucasian nations, even where there are Africans, you find the leadership of many schools, in some schools, totally white, even though the children sometimes are not white. So women and the liberation of women is fundamental. I thank Sister Portia once more for asking us to name what I understood to be women who have come close to liberation. But then I heard men also being mentioned, and I thought Sister Portia asked for women. So anyway, it is what it is. So I'd like to start from that part of Sister Portia's presentation and name a few women. And for me, the question that Sister Portia is asking is crucial, because the question is about the role of women in who have come close to liberation. The good news is that the women I'm about to mention were actually in the field fighting for the liberation of Africa. But these are mostly from Ghana, and they are also mostly those who fought alongside Kwame Nkrumah. For those of you who know the history, Kwame Nkrumah was Kwame Nkrumah because of women, and they are usually called the Makola women. Let me mention some of them for time's sake. Hannah Kujo, CPP organizer, propaganda secretary and activist. Rebecca Na Dede Aite, market queen, financier, activist. Mary Ayele Lai, market queen, CPP founder, treasurer. Agnes Ofori Tegu Kwakupome, trader, financier, organizer. Amma Nkrumah, propaganda secretary, organizer. Letitia Kwei, propaganda secretary, organizer. Sophia Doku, propaganda secretary, organizer. Alice Apia, organizer, mobilizer. Susanna Al Hassan, advocate, first female minister. All right. Now let me also mention a few more things about women and their role in the liberation struggle. The first is Mabel Dankwa. She was a pioneering journalist and political activist, and she became the women's organizer for the CPP during the 1954 general election and was appointed editor of the Evening News by Nkrumah himself. She later became the first female member of Ghana's Legislative Assembly, first female member, and the first woman elected to an African Legislative Assembly. Okay, now, then there is what we call the market women and the organizer. My mother was also a Makola woman. For those who know the history, they were the powerhouse when it comes to economics in Ghana. They control the entire trade in Ghana before J.J. Rawlings and his people destroyed the Makola market. But anyway, that is a story for another time. The point I'm making here is that the unnamed soldier that is mentioned in the West, when you hear about the unnamed soldier, what comes to mind are men. For us, the unnamed soldiers are our market women, the grassroots organizers, the leaders of women's associations who were instrumental in mobilizing support, fundraising, and spreading the CPP's message, self-government now, at the community level. We are talking about women's wings and league members, right? The CPP Women's Wing and later the Women's League included numerous activists, unnamed journalists, intelligence operatives, fundraisers, political officials, contributing to the party's organizational strength and public outreach. In short, the liberation of Ghana, the liberation of the Gold Coast, which became Ghana, could not have been possible if it wasn't for our mothers and our sisters and our aunties and our cousins and so on. So I wanted to start my presentation in acknowledging the very important point that our sister Portia was making. Let me now turn to this. And what I'm about to say could be seen as more religious or spiritual, but that is okay, because Constantism affirms spirituality. All we say is that spirit is not primary, but our existence is also rooted in spirituality. There are many things we don't see. The air we breathe, we don't see, and so on. The last time I checked, and it's not very long ago, my mother was a woman. The last time I checked, my mother was a woman. The last time I checked, not very long ago, my bigger sister, my late sister Mary, also was a woman. So last time I checked. We do not debate the humanity of women. We do not beg for equality for women. We remember what we have always known, that the woman is a life giver, the nation builder, and the sacred balance of creation. From the Nile to the Niger, our ancestors worshipped goddesses, crowned queens, and knew God as both mother and father. The Gan people, Sister Ida here belongs to the Gan people, they call God Atana Nyongmo, meaning the divine who is male and female. And that is the African tradition. Sheikh Anta Diop, the Senegalese physicist and researcher who we all know as the writer of the Africa, the Origin of Civilization, True or False. That great author has, in his works, continued to hammer this. You know, that is what is distinct about the African nation. And when I say the African nation here, I'm not referring to the current neocolonial territories. I'm referring to the fundamental African nation that gave birth to Africa. That nation is what I am referring to here. So the divine is both male and female. So the lies we need to unlearn, we need to unlearn some lies. Patriarchy, the domination of men, is not African. If you look into our history, and some of our sisters have mentioned it already, there were queen mothers, there were warrior queens. Queen mothers, Ya Asantewa of the Akan nation, Agoji of Dahomey, warrior queen, and so on. It's colonialism that imposed male dominance. So we need to ban the idea that men naturally rule. It is not true. Western feminism is not about our salvation. White feminism fights for lean-on corporate power, not the collective liberation of Black women. So we reject individualism and demand revolutionary restoration. Women are the first nation. I don't know why this should be controversial. Before birth, we dwell in the womb. Our mothers' bloodlines carry ancient wisdom. Till today, the Akan nation trace their origin through the mother line. The Akans, that is, they haven't changed since the beginning of creation. They haven't changed. It's the same. The Ghan people are clear. A woman is a flower in the garden of God. To harm her is to poison the roots of humanity. The divine feminine is today the missing half in conscientism. Nkrumah's conscientism calls for a unified African worldview. But how can we unite when half our people are shackled? A liberated Africa requires liberated women, scientists, technologists, engineers, mathematicians, warriors, healers, and leaders like Queen Nzinga, who ruled, fought, and freed her people. So in ALD 2025, we are calling the African nation to action. We need to build the army of Nzinga. We need modern warrior women, educators, farmers. Sister Tapoa is an educator, and she's always ready to educate us. We need women like Sister Pua, Sister Portia, Sister Marlene, Sister Ida, Sister Myra. We need you to form a modern warrior, a modern army of Nzinga. Mothers armed with knowledge and unshakable dignity, like the Dahomey Agoji, who were not feminists. They were protectors of a nation. And men, our call in this ALD is that men must stand with women, not above them. As I said, the last time I checked, my mother is a woman, and I came out of her. So how can I be greater than a woman? How can I be above a woman? How can I be the ruler over women when I came out of a woman? So I think we men need to start humbling themselves and stop lifting up themselves as if they came out of men, as if they came into the world, not through a woman. Name any man you like, the greatest man that we have known, where that man came out of a woman. No woman, no man can be greater than their mother, as far as I understand. So men, we need to stand with women, not above them. And real men do not fear women's power. They fight beside them. So our challenge, brothers, is that we need to understand that if the African Revolution excludes women, it is a fraud. It will not happen. As long as our women are not liberated and leading the liberation, men, forget it. All you will be are neo-colonialists who would beg the Trumps and the Macrons for peanuts. Yeah, if your women are not there with you, that is what will happen to you. And when you look at the African, the continent, look at what has happened. You have men begging, because there are no women with you. What do you expect? What do you expect when you are not going with your women? Do you know, do we as men know what happens when we go to women in meetings? Do you know how they see us? So, men, we need to wake up. Let us restore the sacred balance. Economic. Our women must begin to own the land, lead cooperatives, control resources. Spiritual. We need to revive rites honoring goddesses like the Oshun and Mau. We need also to restore the sacred balance in politics. It's very important. How can you have a government and it's all men, or 80% men, or 70% men? I mean, how does that make sense? And even if we go by democracy in the nation, there are more women than men anyway. So if we want to go democratically, there should be more women in the government than men anyway. Men, what is the problem? Men, African men, what is your problem? What is your problem? So we need to restore the sacred balance politically. So, Brother Pigeon, how much time have I got? Brother Pigeon?
You have 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Okay, in that case, let me say a few things about some lies that we
I see you are spirited. Go ahead, brother.
Lie number 1, the idea that men are natural leaders. It is not true. Africa has had natural leaders like queen mothers, matrilineal successors, warrior queens. You know them, Agoji, Nziga, Yasantua, and the names of the people that I mentioned. Lie number 2, a woman's place is in the home. Where did that come from? You know, a woman's home, a woman's place is in the home. I mean, who said that? It's certainly not Africa. In Africa, we have never, as far as I know, historically, have never said that a woman's place is in the home. You know, women ruled markets like Madame Tinubu. Our brother mentioned a sister. I believe it's Ransom Kuti, who was a formidable a woman, you know, and they led armies. They were priestesses. God, the Almighty God, if we want to go down that route of spirituality in that sense, is both mother and father. As the Gans say, Ata na nyongo. Ata is father and Na is mother. In other words, the divine is male and female. That is why the Global African Congress have roles for men and women. You know, those of you who are familiar with the Global African Congress, the GAC, they have that. Yeah, if they have the secretary, you have male secretary and female secretary. For the chairs, you have a male chair and a female chair. You know, they have given up this Western nonsense that a man must somehow head everything. So those are the lies that we need to unlearn. In Ghan's spirituality, as I have said, in Kemet, ancient Egypt, those of you who know Isis, mother of creation, Ma'at is the goddess of justice. For those of you who are interested, listen to the name Ma'at. In Ewe, she is called Mama Avlekiti. Now, for those who are interested, you ask yourself, where does the word mathematics come from? There, I'm giving you the clue there, but I'm not going to that now. The Yoruba tradition, Oduduwa, she is a primordial mother. And she gave birth to kings. Think about that. Think about that. Yeah, so I'll just end there with maybe a prayer. Is it okay with everyone? So this is my prayer. We call in ALD 2025, put together by CSG, the Constantin Study, in honor of Kwame Nkrumah's philosophy and ideology of Constantism. This day, 24th May 2025, we Africans here in this space call on the spirits of Ya Asantewa, Nzinga, Fumilayo Ransom Kuti. We invoke Ata Nanyongo, the God who is both mother and father. We are not begging for equality. We are reclaiming our divine right. No liberation without women. No revolution without sisters. No future without our mothers. Forward ever, backwards never. Amen.
Amen. I was thinking you played the other way around, but thank you for that prayer. Comrades, permit us to also appreciate our chair, Brother Kwame. Feel free to either use any form possible to appreciate Brother Kwame for this.
Thank you, Brother Kwame.
Thank you.
Thank
Asante
you,
sana.
Professor
Thank
Kwame.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, comrades. We deliberately chose to celebrate our women on this Africa Liberation Day because I don't think many organizations have thought of finding the value of women in the liberation. And I believe that, as many of the speakers have put it clear, we cannot go alone. The liberation of Africa requires all of us. All of us. And yes, before I bring this to an end, yes, Sister I'll allow some maybe 1 minute, or 2 minutes, probably 1 or 2 minutes intake from members. And then I'll be bringing this to an end with of course, the last quote from Sankara. We are afraid we may not be able to open up a big discussion based on time, but you can always have a follow-up conversation on this on any of our Saturdays. So yes, Sister Ida, I'll give you a minute if that's okay. And any member who might like to speak, please, a minute. That will be helpful for us based on our time. Sister Ida?
Sister Marlene had her hand up for a long time at the beginning, so
Okay.
if you want to get her first, I'll come next. Thank you.
Sister Marlene, a minute to you. Sister Marlene, a minute.
Okay, if she's not ready, I just wanted, I think it started from Sister Myra, put in my head about the fact that of recent history, people like, now can I remember his name, had women guards. One of the guys in the Middle East had women guards protecting.
Even Gaddafi had a women.
Yes, Gaddafi. Okay. Yes, so I wanted to mention that, and I also wanted to mention that still in Ghana to choose the words are going to choose the Asantehene. It is the Queen Mother who chooses the Asantehene. So those were the two things throughout. And I thought maybe Brother Kwame would also remind us of that because it's still going on. So
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. 1 minute's done. Brother Ifo, your minute, please.
Brother Pigeon, let me just add to what Sada said. Sada, yes, that's correct. And the Dangerous too, which is older than the Ashanti stool, as I understand it, has also had a woman as the king. So it's not only males that can occupy the stool of the king of Denchra, but also women can. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Kwame. Brother Ifo, your minute, please. Anybody want to share something within a minute, feel free. We still have around 10 minutes, or actually 7 minutes or 8. So anybody are now able to have a minute. Ifo?
Okay. First of all, I just wanted to thank all of the amazing presenters for making us think. I have a question for the last speaker. I was wondering, one of the lies that has been told to us by the colonialists has been about gender, and that there's only two. Our ancestors recognized and did not try to persecute LGBTQ members like the churches and the mosques are doing. So I was wondering if you would, what your views are on that, and how we can, because we have LGBTQ members who are Africans, and if we have one liberation for everybody, we have to say everybody, not just those that the colonialists recognize. That's my question.
Thank you. Brother Kwame will come up to that later when you come towards the end, but I'll give you opportunity to answer that, Brother Kwame. Sister Chisomo, your minute.
Yes, thanking everybody that presented today. And also, I'd like to add to my list all the female presidents we've had in Africa. We are leading in the world. And also to thank Brother Pigeon, as you celebrate your anniversary today with CSG. You are a true revolutionary. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Thank you very much for that. And yes, let's recognize our mothers who have led and shown that they can be presidents also, not only kings and queens, but also president. We appreciate the Namibia team as well, and we have to encourage them. We know what's going on in Tanzania as well. So yeah, thank you. Thank you, sister. Anybody who want a minute to say something? 2 people? Then I'll be closing that. I'll get back to Brother Kwame. Any 2 people want to share anything in a minute? Brother Coco? Oh, Brother Coco, go ahead, brother. How are you?
No, thank you, brother. I am humbled with all the speakers we have assembled tonight, and I would like to first start by thanking CSG, thanking you, and thanking all the contributions they have made. Brother Kwame, just to complement what you have been saying about the accounts where I come from in Southern Africa, we call ourselves Banaba Mupedi Muhulu. Mupedi is twice. It's just a twice. Remember that. That means we both recognize the God or the ancient creator as both male and female. So again, thank you very much, our ladies, our queens, our sisters. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Brother Coco. And thanks for educating us about that. So yeah, it seems that aligns with what Brother Kwame was saying as well in their culture or their tradition as well. Elder Joseph from the Caribbean, we cannot forget our sisters and brothers who are taken the other side. And we look forward to you coming back for a true liberation. But even where you are, we can still fight our liberation. Thank you.
Excuse me, can I say something?
Sister Marion, allow me to go to Brother Joseph first. You'll come in.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes,
Brother Joseph?
yeah, Brother Pigeon, I want to thank Brother Kwame. I didn't hear the first 2, except the second speaker, only a bit when I came in. But I want to thank Brother Kwame in particular. This is my language that he spoke. In fact, last night, and Sister Ida was on the session last night. These are some of the things we discussed. How we need to heal our societies where it needs to become whole, holistic, and all the things that those elements that fractioned our people, whether it's in gender and so on, we need to unify our people. And we need to look deeper into some of the questions. And also the way that religion continue to fracture our people, politics, of course, and economics. These things, we need to really arrest the situation. And also a lot of women who have made contribution, they are the unsung heroes. I think about my own mother and others who stood up, who risked their life for others at various levels, in various situations. These are, we need to celebrate them.
Thank you. Thank you, Elder Joseph. But I'll go to our speakers who actually presented to us, and I'll ask them to have at least a minute to say their final word. And then Brother Kwame will come to you as you say your final word and also respond to some of the questions that was shared to you. Sister Myra, please go ahead, and thank you for taking the opportunity to share with us and do the presentation. Thank you very much, Sister Myra. Please, a minute for you to give us your final thoughts.
I felt like Brother Kwame's very impassioned presentation was a beautiful, can I say, rounding off of my presentation. So I can only say thank you very much, Brother Kwame. I felt the energy and the passion, and yeah, it was very, very inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sister Myra. Let's get to Sister Portia. Thank you very much, Sister Portia, your final word, and thank you for also your presentation, Sister, once more.
Asante sana, Madawa Sipa, Shukran Jazilan, Murakoze Chani, Ashe.
Ashe, Sister, Ashe, yes, Ashe. Brother Kwame, come in. Brother Kwame?
Yes, sorry. Yeah, well, I thank those who thank me for thanking me. so, yeah, yeah. Well, as I said, I mean, I thanked Sister Myra for her lecture because I really enjoyed her presentation. I was thinking, is that Sister Myra speaking? Like, wow. And then Sister Portia came in with this tutorial style, getting total involvement. I'm thinking, wow. So I mean, so it's you guys that inspired me. So I was giving back what you have you mirrored to me. So just all I would say finally is that as Constantism, we believe in our philosophy and ideology. It's not a head thing, is it? It's also a heart thing. It's something that we believe in our heart. And I would just say that our brother Job, Sheikh Anta Job, the Senegalese scientist and author and historian, his scholarship, if you haven't already looked at it, his scholarship is what demolished the myth of universal patriarchy, because colonialism and imperialism were going around spreading this false message that patriarchy is universal, and patriarchy is not universal. It never has been. In another time, we can look into this more. There is another author called Dr. Kumoji of Ghana, and he wrote his thesis in German, and he has also written extensively in this, and it's shown in his work that if you go back to pre-colonial Africa, women were free, women owned land, women were warriors, women were queens, women were whatever they wanted to be, and that is what it was. So Job demolished the myth of universal patriarchy and showed that Africa's liberation requires restoring women's historical agency. That is something that we need to continue to shout about, that the unfinished revolution includes the liberation of women. So when we say the total liberation of Africa, we are talking about and the liberation of our women, our mothers, our sisters, and so on. And Job's ideas remain foundational for African feminist theory and decolonial movements. So that's what I would say. In terms of the brother who asked a question about LGBTQ, let's schedule another session for that, because African culture has something to say. But we are not aware that Africans were going around persecuting other people for their sexuality. It doesn't mean that they accepted everything, but it wasn't a basis to deny people their human rights, as it were. So let's schedule another session for this. And today, let's just celebrate our women, our mothers,